It's Prabhupada's translation, is it? Okay. Okay, who's leading? Lotus feet, our spiritual master. The only way. You got it? Our spiritual master. Attain pure devotional service. Panda Lotus feet. Invite one everyone. Manifestation constantly for Lotus feet, but pure desires. It's mechanized. Guru Bhaktavan ki Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunya Bale Parsochari Sotarine Namaste Saraswati Deve Pasachare Sotarine Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Chana Ballabha Jaya Girivaradhare Jaya Girivaradhare Gopi Chana Vallabha Girivaradhare Jaya Yashoda Nandana Jaya Brajajana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Yashoda Nandana Jaya Brajajana Ranjana Jaya Brajajana Ranjana Yasoranandana Jaya Brajajana Ranjana Jaya Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tirabana Chare Jayo Kunjabihare Yamuna Tirabana Chare Jayo Kunjabihare Yamuna Tirabana Chare Jayo Kunjabihare Jayo Kunjabihare Yamuna Tirabana Chare Jayo Kunjabihare Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunjabihare Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Garodha Shiva Shari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jayo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Garuda Shiva Shari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Hare Krishna Srila Prabhupada ki Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki Shri Krishna Leela ki Krishna book ki Do you have a Krishna book? Do you give Krishna book or you must pay for it? Must pay for it. Okay, never mind. Don't have internet on this one. Okay, anyway, let's see how much we remember. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Shri Gadadharo Shivashari Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. I'd like to welcome all of you. So, sorry you have to bear with me for 45 minutes. So I'll thank the management to give me this opportunity to read first about Krishna and the Srila Prabhupada books. So put me in a spot that I have to read. Along the way, forget that we should read regularly Srila Prabhupada books. This Krishna book is very special. So okay, the morning class will be from Krishna book. Chapter 58. Yes. Chapter 58. And the title for the chapter is Krishna married the 5 queens. 5 queens, just 5. Anyway, this is just an add-on. Krishna had Lakshmi Sahastra Sarasam Brahma Sevenanam Govinda Maripurusham. Unlimited Lakshmi is serving. They are serving Lord Shri Krishna. So I'll give you a background of this Krishna book. How it came about before we dive into the story of the 5 queens of Krishna accepting them as his wives. So Srila Prabhupada emphasized that the Krishna book should be read regularly, and then that we should. Prabhupada had a conversation with one of his disciples, and Srila Prabhupada emphasized that he was talking about reading Krishna book. So he said that Krishna book we must read. Just Krishna book can take us to Krishna, back to Godhead. Srila Prabhupada continued. He said Krishna book, just one chapter. Then after that, emphasized just one story, and come to just one line of this Krishna book can take us back to Godhead. So it's the very greatness of this Krishna book. What is called? It came about. How it came about? When Srila Prabhupada went to UK, and Srila Prabhupada already had the script already compiled, and Srila Prabhupada didn't print the Krishna book that time. So Srila Prabhupada had the script with him, and he also had those pictures, these beautiful pictures of different pastime of Krishna. So he was speaking to one of his disciple to see how this. Then I just said about that reading just a line of his Krishna book can save one from this nescience, take us out from this birth and death, and take us back to Krishna. And then Srila Prabhupada was in UK, and then in 1970, when Srila Prabhupada, when he was in contact with George Harrison, and then Srila Prabhupada had a desire to print the book. And Srila Prabhupada was just paging through the Krishna book, and he was saying, look at this, and he was pointing out the picture where Krishna Balaram is jumping from the mountain in the top of the hill, and Prabhupada was just laughing, and he was in his own, mood, and then this he was into it, and it was described that Srila Prabhupada's mood was just like you give a child a comic book. When a child read a comic book, and the child he gets into the comic book, and he's like it's a part of that. whatever happening there. And Prabhupada's mood was like that. And Srila Prabhupada was pointing out that Krishna Balaram jumping from the mountain. And the next picture, he was pointing out this picture here, where Sri Krishna is punching, comes on his face. And then Prabhupada was saying, look at this. And Srila Prabhupada was in that mood. And the devotee took some time to really, try to get into what Prabhupada's mood was. And he said that, he said, when we read Krishna book, we just got in touch. Srila Prabhupada was, with his finger, he was just going on his script, and he was just going like that with the script. Then you say, just one line of this Krishna book can save you from this material world. So he had his desire to print this Krishna book. So in 1970, when he spoke to devotee named Syama Sundar Prabhu, and said, speak to George, that tell him I want to print this book. I want to print this book. So then, reluctantly a bit to go and ask for money or Lakshmi to print book. There's a word the devotee used to use, the word fry. You get French fry. There's another fry, you fry somebody. You go and squeeze the person for money, and the person get fried. Or somebody get fried in the temple and leave the temple. So we used to use the word fry in that way. So the devotee was very reluctant to go and ask for money to print the book. And the cost, I'll tell you, you should probably know. Then, so he went and spoke, and then he was so busy, and the devotee didn't bring it up. And the devotee told Prabhupada, you think it's the right time to go and ask for money from somebody who just met, and he's a big person, and he can just pull back, and what happened? Prabhupada said, you go and ask, he will take it, he will accept it. So he went and asked, and towards the end, he said, no, Prabhupada wanted you to, to help him to publish the book, the Krishna book. And then he didn't, he kept quiet. So the devotee thought, we lost him now. Lost him. That was the end when they were leaving, and George Harrison said, I will go and see Swami. So he came and went and saw Srila Prabhupada, and the cost was about wait a minute. How much it was? 30,000? 90,000, okay. 90,000. It was $90,000. So then the book was published. So that was in 1990 when George Harrison later on, I'm telling you this because it's nice to know this. And then when the movement was expanding, and George Harrison thought, it's going to need a bigger place. So in 1990, they came in contact with Srila Prabhupada. In 1992, they found this place of Bhaktivedanta Manor. 1992, George Harrison bought that place and donated to Srila Prabhupada, to ISKCON. Those who have been there, you've seen that place. It's massive. That temple drew about 60,000 people for Janmashtami. It was 17 acres of land with the property that George Harrison bought and gave Srila Prabhupada. The property was donated in 1992. Within a year, it was not given to ISKCON because it's expensive property. It's the prime location of, and George Harrison said, "No, what? It has to be the best. Krishna must have the best." Yeah. So he didn't give it to ISKCON that time. He was staying in that place. Yeah. So, but just within a year, 1993, he gave it to ISKCON. Srila Prabhupada key. So, because he loves Prabhupada so much, and Prabhupada, they were like friends. When they meet, they will say, he was used to treat George Harrison like a boy, like you come and, like that. He was just, the exchange was like father and son. So it was just 17 acres of property with the manor, the building where the temple is now. And later on, that property he bought more property in a total acres of 78 acres of land. Given to ISKCON. It's like you have to go from one to another, and you got to take a car to go around. This property was massive. Then George Harrison was, later on he got sick, and then he had cancer, and then And then he left his body in 2001. So as a gesture, a few years ago, there's a beautiful garden dedicated to George Harrison in a park. And at that place, George Harrison used to go and sit there. And he loved that place, which is converted, dedicated, special for him. He used to go and chant in that place. He loved that place. So he got the garden given to him, dedicated to him. If you face the temple entrance in the front, at the back is a big yard where the marquee always come, and there's a lake also. And on the right-hand side is a beautiful garden dedicated to George Harrison. That's in return Srila Prabhupada gave. Just to honor. And there's another garden of roses which is dedicated to Srila Prabhupada. So I'm saying all of that. I'm not going to distract you with our goal. And then I was saying how Krishna reciprocated. He was attacked. One time he was attacked with the person wanted to, rob him with a knife, George Harrison, but he was in his house. And then he called for Krishna. He called for Krishna, and then there was no one, and there was no one, and his wife was not even there, Olivia. So when he called for Krishna, and from nowhere, and when he turned, he saw his wife standing right there, So, and they say Krishna saved him. So he's like that. So this inspired us how Krishna reciprocates, Shinvatam Swagatam Krishna, Punya Savana Kirtana, Hridayanti, Stohi Abhadrani Vidyanoti Surisatam. Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, who is Paramatma Super Soul in everyone's heart and benefactor of the truth devotee, cleanses desire for material enjoyment from the heart of devotee who has developed the urge to hear his messages, which are in themselves virtuous, when properly heard and chanted. This beautiful verse from Srimad Bhagavatam 1:2-17. And then just before we get to our pastime, then another beautiful verse in Bhagavad Gita. Machita mata khuranam bodayantas panasparam katenstas chamam nityam tushyanchita ramatita. So this is also a beautiful verse. It says, the thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me, their lives are surrendered to me, and they derive great satisfaction and bliss, enlightening one another and conversing about me, Krishna says. So devotees take great pleasure. There are so many magazines, so many other books with newspaper. You buy a newspaper today and it's stale. The next day it's stale. You dump it, you cut vegetable on top of it, or you use it. Like that. But these scriptures is Amala Puran, this, pure, and this for life, is forever. So let's go to we're doing here chapter 58. As mentioned in the latest, in the last chapter, there was a great rumor that the 5 Pandava brothers, along with the mother, Kunti, had died according to the plan of the sons of Dhritarashtra in a fire accident in the house of Lak, in which they were living. But their mother were not dead. It was a rumor, but actually it was so. They returned to their capital city, Hastinapur, and people saw them face to face. When this news was carried to Krishna and Balaram, Krishna wanted to see them personally, and therefore he decided to go to Hastinapur with Balaram. So you know the story. Now we're talking about the 5 princesses, but you know the story how. So briefly, you know the story how the place was built by Purochan. He was an architect. In the Mahabharata, it's explained. It was a plan of Duryodhana. Dhritarashtra as well, his father and the son, they are planning to destroy the Pandava, because you know the story how it is. They don't want to part with any property, this is happening in material world actually, with people don't want to give anyone to anything. They want to keep everything for themselves. So the Kauravas, so Duryodhana and Dhritarashtra had this plan to kill the Pandavas and finish them once and all. So they had a plan. They got Puruchana, who was an architect, he was also a commander, a warrior. On a part of later on Mahabharata, he took part and fought against the Pandavas. Puruchan, he was an architect, so he built the palace made of wax and all the inflammable substances, and then asked the Pandavas to stay in that palace, so that the plan is to burn them and kill them inside. So this is what's happening here. So later on the story, you know how? And then who saved them? Vidura had a conversation with Yudhisthira. Had a conversation with Yudhisthira, and he had a language. It's called a Malacha language, which is a low class. Like who knows Hindi here? Bhojpuri. Bhojpuri. Anyone Bhojpuri? Like I say, Prabhu acha se baitha huwa na, acha sab thik huwa na. But you know what? This is a language. Anyway, I speak those languages. This is one of those 5-6 languages: Hindi, French, Creole, Creole languages. So let's say in a Malacha language, like a slang, Vidura gave a message to Yudhisthira that be careful. It says the body will be destroyed, but the soul never die. But the fire can destroy the body, but the soul will remain. So that in very how you call this one in riddle, So the message given to Yudhisthira: be careful, that there be a plan to kill him. So they got escape, and later on, Vidura sent a person, a miner with a ER. So he sent him, the person working in the mine, to dig a hole, and they escape in that way. So briefly, this is the story of what's going on. And they didn't die that time, so they were saved. This time Krishna visited Hastinapur in state as a royal prince, accompanied by his commander-in-chief, Yuyudhana, and by many other soldiers. He had not actually been invited to visit the city, yet he went to see the Pandavas out of his affection for his great devotees. He visited the Pandavas without warning, and all of them got up from their respective seats as soon as they saw him. Krishna is called Mukunda because as soon as one comes in constant touch with Krishna and sees him in full Krishna consciousness, one immediately becomes freed from all material anxieties. Not only that, but one is immediately blessed with all spiritual bliss. So you understood that. Prabhupada is clear with us. But there is one name mentioned here, is Yuyudhana in this one. So why Yuyudhana must go? Why not any other person accompanying Krishna? He must be very special, to accompany Krishna and Balaram. Yuyudhana, he was very, very powerful warrior. He was in charge of one Sena in Mahabharata. And he was related to Krishna. At the same time, he was a good friend of Krishna and Balaram. Krishna and Arjuna, very close to them. So in battle, there's one incident where Yuyudhana, so powerful, he was always protecting Yudhisthira. But because if Yudhisthira dies in a battle or he is conquered, they wanted to capture Yudhisthira. If they capture the main person, the battle is over. So Yuyudhana was protecting Yudhisthira that no one can capture him or harm him. So Yuyudhana, another nickname it was given. He was Satyaki. He was nickname of his father. So he was named Satyaki as well. So Yuyudhana, he was so close to Krishna. So he was protecting Yudhishthira. But Yudhishthira, when Arjuna was attacked by Dronacharya, the teacher, you can't defeat the teacher. How can he was powerful. He was a teacher of the Kauravas and the Pandavas. So Dronacharya, sorry, I said Dronacharya, yeah. So Dronacharya was attacking Arjuna, his teacher, to fighting with your own teacher, because he was the other side. He was fighting on the side of the Kauravas. So he was against the Pandavas. The long story why, because everybody loved money, opulence, and this and some influence in that way. And that time, Dhritarashtra was the king, so you have to respect all this code. And so he was obligated in that way somehow or other. So Yuyudhana, he was with Yudhishthira when Arjuna was attacked by Dronacharya, almost to be killed by Dronacharya. Yudhishthira told Yuyudhana, please go and protect my brother. Please go and protect my brother. So he left, and he protected Arjuna that time in battle. And not only that, Yuyudhana is so dear to Krishna as well. When Satyabhama wanted the Parijata flower, stick it from the heavenly planet, Indra had an issue with it. Indra was not allowing the Parijata flower to be taken from there and brought to earth as a gift for Satyabhama. So the Parijata flower, then Indra was attacking Dwarka. So at that time, Yuyudhana fought against Indra with Krishna. And imagine how powerful he was. So this is some of the briefly explained how Yuyudhana is so powerful, and in that way. And Yuyudhana go in a story back when Vasudeva married who? Kunti Devi, right? No? Devaki, sorry. So it was I'll mix it up. So when there was a Swayamvar, when the grandfather had a Swayamvar of Yuyudhana's side, so Yuyudhana's grandfather went in a Swayamvar. That time they had an issue with the Swayamvar, how it was conducted. So there's a person named Burishwar, a warrior who attacked Yuyudhana because Yuyudhana, after battle of Kurukshetra, he was still alive. He didn't die. Most of the damage was done on the other side of it. Only a few were left in the Kaurava side. So Yuyudhana, grandfather, created some enmity in a Swayamvar with the warrior wanted to kill him. So there's one warrior who made a vow that he will have a son would revenge the insult that done in the Swayamvar. So later on, Burishwara, the grandson of that person, wanted to attack and Yuyudhana. And then Burishwar attacked Yuyudhana when he was very tired, exhausted. When Arjuna when Arjuna was chasing Jayadratha. Yeah? Jayadratha insulted the wife Panchali. Yeah? So the wife Panchali was insulted by Jayadratha. So when then Arjuna wanted to chase Jayadratha to finish him off, So when he was chasing, and then it was so difficult because he had so many warriors protecting him. So Yuyudhana came and helped Arjuna to catch this fellow, And then he was punished later on by that. And then he was so exhausted that he couldn't even move anymore. Then Burishwar and took advantage to take off his head, to take off his head. So when he was to take off his head, he got distracted by Krishna and Arjuna. He got distracted. When he got distracted, Yuyudhana was down on the ground. He pulled his swords and took his head off. So he was powerful. So Yuyudhana was powerful. He was so powerful. And Kshatriya, they don't waste time, There is no like looking for muhurat and all to kill someone or taking. It was done and done. That's the that's how you see in his pastime in the story of Krishna book. We will read later on how the Kshatriya did. So receiving Krishna, the Pandavas were enlivened, just as if awakened from consciousness of loss of life. When a man is lying unconscious, his senses and the different parts of his body are inactive. But when he regains his consciousness, the senses immediately become active. Similarly, the Pandavas received Krishna as if they had just regained their consciousness. And so, they were very much enlivened. Lord Krishna embraced every one of them, and by the touch of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Pandava immediately became freed from all reaction of material contamination and were therefore smiling in spiritual bliss by seeing the face of Lord Krishna. Everyone was transcendently satisfied. Lord Krishna, although the Supreme Personality of Godhead, was playing the part of an ordinary human being. And thus he immediately touched the feet of Yudhishthira and Bhima, because they were his two elder cousins. Arjuna embraced Krishna as a friend of the same age, whereas the two younger brothers, namely Nakul and Sahadev, touched the lotus feet of Krishna to show him respect. After an exchange of greeting according to the social etiquette befitting the position of the Pandavas and Lord Krishna, Krishna was offered an exalted seat. When he was comfortably seated, the newly married Draupadi, young and very beautiful in her natural feminine gracefulness, came before Lord Krishna to offer her respectful greetings. The Yadavas who accompanied Krishna to Hastinapur were also very respectfully received, specifically Satyaki. You know who this now? Yuyudhana. Satyaki or Yuyudhana was also offered a nice seat. In this way, when everyone else was properly seated, the five brothers took their seats near Lord Krishna. How are we running with time? Okay, not bad. Right, it's good we speak about, about the etiquette a little bit, just for 5 minutes. Etiquette. So, as we learn there's etiquette to be followed, that we offer respect. This is a way, because we are called Kripasiddhas. We are called Kripasiddhas. We depend on the mercy of the devotees to advance in spiritual life. And Bhakti Amara was Bhakti Swami gave an example. He was very simple. Anyone can understand. You take in the staircase or you take the elevator. So taking elevator is having the mercy of the Vaishnavas, and you make a quick advancement in that way. So there's three substances that make one advance very easily is Dui Padajala and Mahaprasad. Pada Dui Padajala and Prasad, remnants. Pada Dui means the dust of the feet of the devotees. Padajala is water that's been used to wash the feet of the Vaishnava, and the Prasad, the remnants that's left over by the Vaishnava. So always like that. Those are things that we look for, that we to advance. To offer respect according to the etiquette. Always in assembly, the person who takes the more respect is, of course, is according to Varna and Ashram. But above all, an elderly person immediately given the respect. So elderly person. So there are different types. We summarize it in three aspects, in three ways the respect is offered. First is you have to offer your respect to one who is senior devotee, advanced spiritually or in age. You offer a respect to the person. You respect the person, and then you touch the feet of the person. I personally, when I go to my parents, I go till now. When I go to my visit my parents, even now, even here in South Africa, I'll do that. A person, elderly devotee, I'll go and touch the feet. So when I used to go, I always touch the feet of my mom. That's how I've been brought up in that way. That how to respect, and you touch the feet, and then you ask for the blessing in that way. And then none of my family, others, mostly only they do it in a wedding, maybe in a in a prayers, but otherwise they don't. You don't exist. So you respect an elderly person, and then anyway, my mom, it's another. We want to just going off topic. My mom is like my first guru because he bought me the first book of Srila Prabhupada. So in some ways, he's my first guru. He bought me a BTC magazine, which it was a 2 rand that time. So she bought that, and I moved in the temple like that. And later on, she told me she regretted buying the book because I moved in the temple and stayed for Alice Brahmachari for 10 years. And then after 6 months, he told me, good, I bought the book, because he became a devotee as well. And then after 6 months, she became vegetarian, and then she became started chanting and all those things. So he said that we offer respect. The first one, you offer respect to a person in the age, advanced spiritually, you offer respect. And second one is equals. Here we learn in this part of the story, equals, you hug them, you embrace. You've seen the Bhakti Charan Maharaj come, embrace and like in that way. Just don't get funny ideas, but just spiritual thing, So it's spiritually that you like that. If you've got a problem with that, you better don't charge, don't have it. But this is a stage that with the equals, you see them equal, and you have the respect, you're friendly. And then the third one is a new devotee, a newcomer. You show them affection, and then you have to come down. Like Maharaj explained last time, I also mentioned that in one of the class, I think, the Sunday class last time. That how that the Uttamadikari, Madhyamadikari, then Kanishtadikari, a advanced devotee, although very advanced, he will come to that Madhyama stage, to be able to preach, right? To see that this one needs some preaching, this one needs some friendly, and I need mercy from this one. This in that way. That's how we we carry ourselves in that way, that we don't offend anyone, and be careful. So after meeting with the 5 brothers, Lord Krishna personally went to visit Srimati Kunti Devi, the mother of the Pandavas, who was also Krishna's paternal aunt. Sorry, I'm French speaking. So, in offering his respect to his aunt, Krishna also touched. True, I'm French speaking. Je parle français tout le temps. Aujourd'hui, je vais parler en anglais. In offering respect to the aunts, Krishna also touched her feet. Kunti Devi's eyes became wet, and in great love, she feelingly embraced Lord Krishna. She then inquired from him about the well-being of her paternal family members, her brother Vasudeva, his wife, and other members of the family. Similarly, Krishna also inquired from the aunt about the welfare of the Pandavas family. Although Kunti Devi was related to Krishna by family ties, she knew immediately after meeting him that he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. She remembered the past calamities of her life, and how, by the grace of Krishna, she and her sons, the Pandavas, had been saved. She knew perfectly well that without Krishna's grace, no one could have saved them from the fire accident that we just read, designed by the sons of Dhritarashtra. In a choked up voice, she began to narrate before Krishna the history of their life. Srimati Kunti said, "My dear Krishna, I remember the day when you sent my brother Akrura to gather information about us. Thus This means that you always remember us automatically. When you sent Akrura, I could understand that there was no possibility of our being put in danger. In good fortune in our life began when you sent Akrura to us. Since then, I have been convinced that you are not without protection. All right. Okay. Then Yudhishthira also praised Krishna as the Supreme Person of Godhead and universal friend of everyone. But because Krishna was taking a special care of the Pandavas, King Yudhishthira said, "My dear Krishna, we do not know what sort of pious activities we have executed in our past lives that have made you so kind and gracious to us. We know very well that the great mystic who always engaged in meditation to capture you do not find it easy to obtain such grace." Being requested by the King Yudhishthira, Krishna agreed to stay in Hastinapur for 4 months during the rainy season. The 4 months of the rainy season are called Chaturmas. During this period, generally the preachers and brahmanas stop at a certain place and live under rigid regulatory principle. Although Lord Krishna is above all regulatory principle, he agreed to stay at Hastinapur out of affection for the Pandavas. Taking this opportunity of Krishna's residence in Hastinapur, all the citizens of the city got the privilege of seeing him, Lord Krishna, now and then, and thus merged into a transcendental bliss simply by seeing the Lord's face, seeing Lord Krishna face to face. So we're not going to go in Chaturmas, running out of time. And what it is, that Chaturmas, the 4 months that you devotee follow in that way. And then fasting, whoever follow. I'm not going to go in that. You have to read a little bit about Chaturmas. I got it here, but I'm not going to read on that. Okay, let's see. Right. One day, while Krishna was staying with the Pandavas, he and Arjuna prepared themselves to go to the forest to hunt. Both of them sat down on Arjuna's chariot, which flew a flag with a picture of Hanuman. Arjuna's special chariot is always marked with a picture of Hanuman. Therefore, he is also named Kapi Dwaja. Kapi means Hanuman and Dwaja means flag. Thus Arjuna prepared to go to the forest with his bow and infallible arrow. He dressed himself with suitable protective garments, for he was to practice for the time when he would be killing many enemies on the battle of Kurukshetra. He specifically entered the part of the forest where there were many tigers, deer, and various other animals. The reason Krishna went with Arjuna was not to practice animal killing, for he does not have to practice anything. That's a good one. He is self-sufficient. He accompanied Arjuna to see how he was practicing, because in the future he will have to kill many enemies. After entering the forest, Arjuna killed many tigers, boars, bison, gayavas, and all kind of wild animals. Rhinos. You're not supposed to kill rhinos. Okay. Rhinos, deer, hares, and similar other animal which he pierced with his arrows. Some of the dead animals that were fit to be offered in sacrifice were carried by servants and sent to King Yudhishthira. The ferocious animals such as tigers and rhinos were killed only to stop disturbance in the forest. There's your answer. Since there are many sages and saintly persons who are residents of the forest, it is the duty of the Kshatriyas, king, to keep even the forest in a peaceful condition. Right, so now you say, wait a minute, just, you know how a Kshatriya killed? There are a lot of countries. In fact, a Kshatriya is allowed to indulge on those things: meat eating, intoxication, gambling, illicit sex. The Kshatriyas, they are allowed, they do that. They have more than one wives, and then, and when they have these parties and they have, somaras, they are allowed to do that. But a devotee will refrain, although that's why I'm saying a devotee come to ISKCON, and then Srila Prabhupada said, there are a lot of so many other categories of people out there. Srila Prabhupada gave an example, doctor, lawyers, this and that. He said, but ISKCON is meant to create brahmanas. So Prabhupada wants ISKCON to create brahmanas. If somebody wants to come to a temple and want to become a Kshatriya or Vaishnava or businessman, it's a wrong place to be. So Prabhupada said he is here to create brahmanas, intellectuals, Samadhama tapassocham shantir arjavam evacha jnanam vijnanam astikyam brahma karma svabhavajam. So one time Bhakti Maharaj asked me, before he gave me my second initiation, so he asked me, I want to pick him up from the airport. I just got my first initiation, just 1 month after Kartik. He asked me, Saksi, what's the qualification of a Brahmana, And he asked me, and then, I was 75 devotees there. Guru Maharaj, he knew what he was asking me. So I told Guru Maharaj, you want it in Sanskrit or you want it in English? So foolish, So Guru Maharaj, they all laughed. Guru Maharaj said, anything, Sakshi, anything. So I quoted this verse, that this quality describe how a Brahmana conduct himself. So you have to read this one. And then, the meaning of this verse, that one should adhere to this, that we're supposed to be. Be a Brahmana, intellectuals, because our society is getting more and more blind. They need more of the intellectual Brahmanas to direct them and guide them. And all the kings in the previous stories, you see, they were guided by Rishi Munis, advanced devotees, and then they were guided in that way. Even Dhritarashtra's story here, we see how he was blind materially and spiritually. He was blind, he didn't born blind, and he was spiritually blind as well. But he had somebody to direct him. So Vidura was directing him. He was very learned and he was directing. Eventually, he was the one saved him from all that, he said, you're living like after battle, he still wanted to hang around, Then Vidura said, you hang around, it's like dog, they're throwing pieces of things. It's like that. You better just leave everything enough of this and go and tag everything and go back to Godhead. So this is what it is. So you see, so Kshatriya are allowed to indulge in all the things, but I'm not saying that ISKCON devotees should do it. So Arjuna felt tired and thirsty from hunting, and therefore he went to the bank of Yamuna along with Krishna. When both Krishna, namely Krishna and Arjuna, reached the bank of the Yamuna river, Arjuna is sometimes called Krishna as well. So, so they washed their hands, feet, mouth, and drank the clear water of river Yamuna. While resting and drinking water, they saw this beautiful girl of marriageable age walking along on the bank of Yamuna. Krishna addressed his friend Arjuna to go forward and ask the girl who she was. Right. By the order of Krishna, Arjuna immediately approached the girl, who was very beautiful. Okay, the story carry on. There's too much of reading, but I'm just going to get to the story, right? So what happened here? Arjuna, so this picture, what is going on there? It's on the bank of the Yamuna. Krishna is there, and Krishna said, you know what, go check it out, who's the... Then he went and checked. Arjuna got, he thought maybe he would try luck with the, because he said, so, but, Yamuna Devi, name Kalindi, the name Kalindi, she was not interested in Arjuna. Why? Because Kalindi was an expansion of Lakshmi. So what Lakshmi would do with Arjuna? So previously, Kalindi in a previous life, she was a daughter of Surya, Vivaswan. And then when Surya married the daughter of Vishwakarma, when he married, then every time when Surya would come, approached his wife would close the eyes because Surya is so bright. She would close her eyes, and then every time, then he got angry and he cursed. Hey, you're cursing your own wife. But that's a pastime, that's a leela. And he cursed, you know what? You will give birth to a child who will take the life of others. So, and then, of course, the story is she gave birth to Yamaraj. Yamaraj, and he also gave birth. She gave birth to a girl as well. They were twin. The original name was Yama, means Yamaraj, and the girl's name was Yami. Yamuna. Later it became Yamuna. And another name also was given was Viraja. And then the name of that girl was also named Krishni. Krishni means just like Krishna's complexion. And the girl, the color was just like Krishna's color. So this is a story when they were cursed. And then after that, the wife started to, I think Sanjana, right? She tried to get used to the, and she tried her best to keep her eyes open. Then Surya felt sorry, He said, how she's trying. So he blesses her. You're going to give another children who actually would direct the nation in religion. And who that was? Dharmaraj. An expansion of Yamaraj, another form of Yamaraj is Dharmaraj, and Dharmaraj's son became Yudhishthira. And the other Yami, she also was expanded, and then and then she became Kalindi, Yamuna Devi, and another expansion, and then the golden expansion of Yamaraj, the expansion of Yamaraj in a golden form is Dharmaraj. He was in the color of golden complexion. But he was dark. Yamaraj was dark, but expansion was golden. And the daughter, her golden expansion became Vishaka, Vishaka Devi. So later on, the story goes on how she was cursed by Radharani. It was Krishna's plan that she will be turned into water form and flow down, and she will go down to material world. Krishna actually, any long story, but in summary, that Krishna also, because then Krishna said, don't worry, you will become a place that I will be sporting, and I will accept you as one of my wives. So later she became Kalindi, and Kalindi married the first wife. Out of the 5, Kalindi became the wife of Krishna. And then a grandfather, Vishwakarma, created a palace in a Yamuna river, and she was residing inside there. So this is a story just in a nutshell, in summary, that it's a beautiful story, but we can't go too much in detail with this one. But actually, this is Kalindi's story, how then she became the first wife out of the 5 of Krishna's wife. Okay. So, okay. After this, Krishna was asked by King Yudhishthira to help construct a suitable house to plan by great architect Vishwakarma, the celestial engineer in the heavenly kingdom. So Krishna immediately called Vishwakarma and made construct the wonderful city according to the desire of King Yudhishthira. Okay. In meantime, Krishna engaged in pastime, offering the kind of a forest to Agni, you know that Agni. And after that, there was a demon there who was almost burned, and Arjuna saved. The Mura demon, Maya Danava, was saved in the fire that Krishna offered Agni to satisfy his hunger. In that fire was taking place, and there was a demon inside, almost got burned, Maya Danava, and Arjuna saved the demon. Later on, that demon, when they had this palace that Vishwakarma created for the Pandavas, in one section of the palace was created by Maya Danava, who is a demon. He was full of mystic powers. So he created the part of the palace that water, when you walk, there's no water, but you think there's water. Well, there's water, you think it's water, there's no water, but there's no water, there's water. So it was, you know the story how one Duryodhana came in the palace to visit, and he got really attracted to the palace when he heard so much opulence there the Pandavas got, and he wanted to come there and to see what it is. When he by mistake he walked, he thought water there, so he wanted another bit, but it was not water. They said, oh, when he put his foot, he said, there's no water. So he walked on the surface that looked like water, but it was not water. So, and he went another place, you saw water, he said, no, there's no water. So he walked and he went in the water. So he thought that was illusion, but it was real water. So he got offended, and you know the story, how he got offended, but a Draupadi was on the top and then on the balcony, and she actually tried to control, laughing when he saw that. So, he said, father's blind, the son is also blind. So he took it an offense, like father's blind, you look like son also is blind, jokingly, she was joking, yeah? But he got offended later on, so he wanted to revenge for that. Yeah? So, all right, we go to the next story, right. The king of Avantipur, known as Ujjain. Ujjain was Avantipur before that. One named Vindhya and Anu Vindhya. So both the king were under the control of Duryodhana. They had one sister named Mitra Vinda. Mitra Vinda, very qualified, learned and elegant. The daughter of one of Krishna's aunt. They would have the cousin marrying the cousin, but anyway, they want. There's how even there are a lot of cousin marrying cousin or like that, but it was not immediate. It explained in the Shastra, it was not the same Gotra. No, Gotra was not the same, but it may be uncle's daughter married. But in that way, even Lord Buddha married his cousin before he took to Nirvana, took to his another path of spiritual. So he said sometimes they marry the family, not immediate family, but in the same lineage to keep their purity. That was to keep your purity. It happens. So here, this is the second wife, Mitravinda. He got married to Krishna, second wife. All right. Okay, the next one is, after the incident, Krishna married the daughter of the king, Kosala. So Kosala's prince, also called as Nagdajit. So his daughter named Satya got married to Krishna. So this was the very nice one, bullfight. So Krishna had to fight. It was not any ordinary Swayamvar. The Krishna had to fight 7 bulls at the same time. 7 bulls at the same time. So it is nothing for Krishna, because Krishna is so powerful. He can be in one place, more than one place at a time. Narad Muni wanted to check, how Krishna operates in Dwarka, because so many queens. So to his surprise, when he went to different palace, he saw that Krishna is, exchanging one with one queen here in Satyabhama, in another Rukmini, and in another palace, Krishna is playing with his sons. So Narada Muni saw that Krishna is present everywhere. He was present with each and every one, and doing different things. It is said a yogi, he can manifest also, but he can manifest to the maximum of 7 to 8. 7 to 8 only. Like Kardama Muni, he was powerful, the son of Brahma. He manifested, he expanded himself into 9. Sobari Muni, he expanded into 7. So the yogi can expand. The limit is up to 7, 8 maximum. But Krishna can expand himself unlimited. So for him to fight 7 bulls at the same time, it was nothing. So when Krishna did that, and the father saw, everybody saw it was something, feats were very impossible things to do. And then Krishna actually won everybody, and then Krishna married Satya. So Krishna married Princess Bhadra. Beside Kunti Devi, Krishna had another paternal aunt. Her name was Shruta Kirti. Not Sutta Kirti, but Shruta Kirti. And she was married and lived in Kaikeya, prince. She had a daughter whose name was Bhadra. Bhadra wanted to marry Krishna, and her brother handed her over to Lord Krishna unconditionally. Krishna accepted her as his bona fide wife, and thereafter Krishna married a daughter of a province of Madras. So this thing going on that the Madras don't marry the Indians, or Indian don't marry the Madras. So you must learn here, there's no such thing, There's no such thing. So people get... There is some places where people marry in another, like Indian, don't marry the Tamil, or they got Kovil, we got Mandir, and then it become an issue. So in Padma Purana it explained that Bhadra, also known as Kekeyi, emerged from a sacred land of Kekeya, the cherished daughter of King Drishtaketu. You know the story of Drishtaketu. And Queen Shruta Kirti. As a sibling of 5 brothers, including the eldest Prince Santardana. Bhadra lineage intervenes with the illustration of Yadava clan through her maternal ties to Queen Kunti, the mother of the Pandavas. Okay. So Krishna next married Lakshana. All right, here we go. It can be declared that the legacy or lineage of Lakshana is uncertain at the moment. So Lakshana describe. Okay, Krishna married Lakshana, another princess. So this is the 5th one, right? So Lakshana's father organized a Swayamvar ceremony for just like Mitravinda and Bhadra family. So the Swayamvar is a ceremony that gives the right to the prince and the family to choose the best groom for the bride. So in Bhagavad Puran has mentioned that Sri Krishna has kidnapped Lakshana from the Swayamvar, and he was made he has made comparison of the act of abducting to an act of Garuda, stealing the jar of Amrit, nectar, from the deities. Just like Bhadra, there are two stories regarding the Swayamvar. So, this is what it is. I think we covered this five times up. Hare Krishna. Hey, good, on the dot. All right, let's take some comments and questions. Let's say, I'd like to put something in a nutshell for 45 minutes. We can speak for months on this topic. And how Srila Prabhupada give reference to the different princesses, different story, and he links everything. And he scattered all over the place in all different books, and you have to get the information different and try to just put it together, and then this way we can benefit. With Prabhupada, what you notice, Srila Prabhupada books, Srila Prabhupada like to repeat a few things, a few incidents, and few story, and it's good. And then Gopal Maharaj was giving class. He said, Maharaj, what if we sit in a class and we hear the same thing over and over, and we think, I heard that before, I heard that before. He said, what is that? What do you think of it? And then Gopal Maharaj said, that's your false ego. So that's your false ego. And then when Gopal Maharaj saw that devotee felt a little bit out of place, then he further explained. He said, no. He said, they explained it, you got to, like, that phone got full memories. Then you say your phone is full, then you want to clear your trash. That you clear. So that's why you said, you got to listen, you got to hear over and over. We tend to forget. Our memory become full with other things, we tend to forget in that way. So also Prabhupada explained in another place that when we go to a doctor, this year, and they gave her one medication that of your health not good, and then the next year you go and consult the doctor, and he give you the same medication again. Painkiller, whatever it is. Then you don't ask the doctor, why are you giving me this again? Of course, you're sick again. Because you're sick again, he will prescribe you the same medication again. Right? So again and again, you take the same medication, you don't question. So why should you question to listen the pastime of the Lord again and again? So this is the reason why we should listen to the pastime again and again from the great devotees, from very advanced devotee, from even not advanced devotee, but because it's topic of Krishna, you have to, it's purifying. So this is the reason. So it's like we got to keep it flowing in that way. And then that's the difference, because a devotee sitting in a class, they are not the same level. It's not the same level. A new devotee, he will sit in a class, then he will say, oh, I mustn't do this, I mustn't do that, Oh, now I know I mustn't do this, I mustn't do that, like that. So a new person learn things that I shouldn't be doing this, I should be doing this, I should not be doing this. I must do this, I must do it better in this way. If I do it this way, now I learn I have to do that. But a more advanced devotee, when they sit in a heart, they actually relished every pastime, they're just relishing everything. But that's why, if anyone noticed, I don't give introductory class. Because I'm not going to chant 16 rounds and follow principles. Most of the devotees already, those things, they're already doing it. That's why I like to, please forgive me, I like to go a little bit deeper in stories where it's our time that we should know those things that inspired us. You can, those are beautiful stories, and that all bona fide, and Krishna Dharma Prabhu in his Mahabharat, his conversion, you can see a lot of those details. So all my source, my material, I've been read over the years that I decided. The day before yesterday, they told me, they gave me another chapter to do, and after that, yesterday, they gave me another chapter to do. So, anyway. But I didn't really have much time to prepare, but I've been preparing for my whole life, so I'll probably, it's not been difficult. It's like, you have to repeat the same thing again and again. It's so easy for me. But I think, please forgive me if I went deeper into it, if I didn't read so much in it. But we covered the 5 stories of the 5 princesses. So this chapter is complete. So the devotee next time can do the chapter, next chapter, I think 60. And then thank you very much. And Prabhu, you have to say, Prabhu, you have to say something. Any comments and any question? Prabhu? Hare Krishna. Done? Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Krishna Leela ki, Gaura Bhaktivinoda ki.